Welcome back to Journey of a Ballaholic, the best talk show for basketball addicts. I'm your host, General Hannibal X. Now, when you think about the NBA top 10 small forward of all time, what names come to mind? Think about that for a second. Who do you rank as the top 10 small forwards in NBA history? Listen, the last 8 Finals MVPs have all been awarded to the small forward position, which lets you know that still to this day, you have to have that elite wing in order to win a championship. I think you're going to be kind of surprised when you see who I rank as the top 5 small forwards ever. But there should be no question as to who's crowned, still to this day, as the best small forward in NBA history. Okay, before we jump into the top 10 greatest small forwards of all time, let's go over the honorable mention list. A list is full of guys that are in the Hall of Fame but just didn't quite make that cut. Guys like Adrian Dantley, Alex English, Big Game James Worthy, the human highlight reel Dominique Wilkins, even Knick legend Dave DeBusschere, you got Carmelo Anthony, Grant Hill, even Bernard King. Alright, let's go ahead and jump right into the top 10. We're going to start with a Boston Celtic legend, the truth, Paul Pierce. With so many great small forwards to play in the NBA, it was tough to narrow the list down to just 10 guys. But considering that Paul Pierce is one of just 8 small forwards in NBA history that made at least 10 All-Star appearances, plus the fact that he's just one of 7 small forwards to ever win the Finals MVP, all while giving you career averages of 19.7 points per game, 5.6 rebounds, and 3.5 assists, let's not forget that Paul Pierce is ranked number 15 all-time in scoring in the NBA. And one of just 3 Celtics that ever scored more than 20,000 career points wearing that Boston green. Listen, at the end of the day, there's no way that I could put together a top 10 small forward list and not have the truth on it. Alright, next up at number 9, we've got the Claw, Kawhi Leonard. Leonard being on this list after just 8 NBA seasons may come as a surprise, especially when you consider that he's only made 3 All-Star appearances in his career. However, the 2-time NBA champion is one of just 3 small forwards to win multiple Finals MVP trophies, and he's one of just 3 players all-time, regardless of position, to win the Finals MVP on multiple teams, joining Kareem and LeBron James. Leonard, however, became the only player in NBA history to win the Finals MVP in both conferences. Now, after Leonard's historic title run last season, it's easy to forget that Kawhi was a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year winner in San Antonio. And that's because last year, Leonard became the only player in history to win a Game 7 with the buzzer beater sending Philly packing for the summer. Leonard's offense also went to a historic level as well. He carried the Raptors' offense to a level to where only Jordan, Shaq, and Olajuwon averaged more playoff points than Kawhi did on a championship team since 1984. Coming in at number 8, the legend, Scottie Pippen. Pippen is one of the most underappreciated players in the history of the game. Criticized for being the Robin to Jordan's Batman, yet most forget that any player alongside the GOAT would have been the number 2 just as well. Pippen's lockdown defense during the 1991 NBA Finals on Magic Johnson is what earned him the respect that he had been missing. 8 straight years after that Finals, Pippen made the first team All-Defense, went on to win the All-Star MVP in '94, and then led the league in steals in '95. And as a 7-time All-Star and a 7-time All-NBA player, Pippen was more than just a defender, and definitely more than just a sidekick. As the second best player in Chicago, Pippen was the perfect co-star the Bulls needed to win 2 sets of 3-peats. Arguably the best perimeter defender the NBA has ever seen. But it was the 1995 season when Pippen became the second player in NBA history to lead his team in points, rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals. And from that point on, Scottie earned the right to be called elite, and he's earned the right to be known as the top 10 small forward of all time. Now for number 7, we're going to go back a little bit. We're going to go to the old school, Rick Barry. Rick Barry has one of the most unusual careers in the history of basketball. His career began in the NBA in 1965 with the San Francisco Warriors, where he led the NBA in scoring, putting up a ridiculous 35.6 points per game in his second season. He then left the NBA to dominate the ABA for 4 years before returning to the NBA in 1972 with the Golden State Warriors. Since this is just an NBA all-time ranking, I have to exclude his ABA stats, awards, and title from the conversation. But understand that when Rick Barry returned to the NBA, he became one of the first point forwards in the history of the game. And in 1975, Barry averaged 30.6 points, almost 6 rebounds, over 6 assists, and led the NBA in steals with almost 3 a game. The Warriors went on to win the title and Barry was awarded the Finals MVP that season. And while Barry will always be remembered for his unorthodox underhand free throw style, what most don't know is that Barry led the NBA in free throw shooting 6 times with that style. Even if you take out his ABA years, his NBA resume is still worthy of a top 10 player. Coming in at number 6, I've got the Dr. Dr. J himself, Julius Erving. Dr. J and Rick Barry's careers overlapped one season in the ABA back in 1972. But after 5 seasons playing in the inferior league, Dr. J got his NBA career started when the Philadelphia 76ers bought his rights from the New Jersey Nets. Erving is universally known as one of the game's best dunkers, and he made his mark in his first NBA season, winning the All-Star Game MVP. Dr. J went on to earn 11 All-Star appearances and made 7 All-NBA teams. In 1980, Erving led the 76ers to the finals before losing to the Lakers in 6. Now, fueled by that loss, Dr. J returned in 1981 and won the regular season MVP. In 1982, the 76ers took another loss in the finals to the Lakers before the 76ers finally added another superstar talent to join them in Moses Malone. Now, Julius Erving and the Philadelphia 76ers, they took off that season, winning 65 games, and in the 1983 NBA Finals, they swept and finally got revenge over the LA Lakers. Dr. J posted NBA career averages of 22 points, almost 7 rebounds and 4 assists, with 1.8 steals and 1.5 blocks to go with all of that. Alright, so now we're down to the top 5 small forwards ever. And coming in at number 5, another Boston legend, Hondo, John Havlicek. When you hear the name John Havlicek, one of the first things that comes to mind for most is the legendary announcer saying, "Havlicek steals it. Havlicek stole the ball." It was that tough, gritty defense that was mixed with his relentless, non-stop movement on the court that led the great Bob Cousy to once call John Havlicek a non-shooter who would probably just burn himself out. Cousy's assumption of Havlicek couldn't have been further from the truth. And John began his career coming off the bench on those Bill Russell and those Bob Cousy Celtic teams. He had that combination of brute force where he was able to just overpower most guards, plus he was quicker than most of the forwards to try to keep up with them as well. In just his second season, still coming off the bench, Havlicek averaged almost 20 points, over 5 rebounds, and 3 assists, and he earned the second team All-NBA. John would go on to become a 13-time All-Star and an 11-time All-NBA member. He became known as one of the toughest defenders in NBA history. He went on to win and make 8 All-Defensive Team selections. 5 of those were first-team All-Defense. Hondo's career peaked in 1974, where he went on to lead the Boston Celtics to the title over the Kareem-led Milwaukee Bucks. He went on to earn the Finals MVP that season as he averaged a 26.4 points per game, almost 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals, marking him down as one of the greatest small forwards of all time. Next up at number 4, the greatest small forward in Laker history, Elgin Baylor. Elgin Baylor was the Michael Jordan before Michael Jordan. His acrobatic moves were definitely ahead of his time, as Baylor mixed strength and grace to put up career averages of 27.4 points and 13.5 rebounds with the Lakers. Elgin is one of the greatest players in NBA history that never won a ring, and he's the only player on this top 10 small forward list that didn't win the championship. However, Baylor did lead the Lakers to 8 NBA Finals, while being named to 10 All-NBA first teams, and he played in 11 All-Star games. When the Lakers moved from Minneapolis to Los Angeles, maybe it was the warm weather or the palm trees, but Elgin Baylor's career went from good to great. In his first 3 seasons in LA, he put up 34.8 points and 19.8 rebounds in 1961. He followed that up with 38.3 points and 18.6 rebounds in 1962, and then averaged 34 points and 14 rebounds in 1963. I mean, this man was the complete package, a gifted shooter and an excellent rebounder. If it weren't for those nagging knee injuries, Baylor would have definitely become an NBA champion, as 19 games into the 1972 season, he had to retire from the Lakers, and that's when they won their first championship since moving to LA. Okay, down to the last 3. Coming in at number 3, the Durantula, Kevin Durant. Whether you call him KD, the Slim Reaper, Durantula, or Cupcake for joining the 73-win Warriors team that he blew a 3-1 lead to, just make sure you call him a champion. Kevin Durant is one of the most criticized players in NBA history, and I get that. But let's not act like this man didn't carry the OKC Thunder to the finals when he was just 23 years old. Let's not forget that he was a 4-time scoring champion before he joined the Warriors. I mean, Durant has more scoring titles than every other player on this top 10 list combined. He joined the 50-40-90 club in 2013. That was with the Thunder. Did we somehow forget that Durant then won the MVP in 2014 while averaging 32 points and over 7 rebounds and led the Thunder to a 59 wins into the Western Conference Finals? Listen, I get it. Joining the Warriors, it makes winning that much easier. I get it. But you still have to go out and do it, and Durant did that, and he did it in dominating fashion. 2017 NBA Finals, he averaged 35 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, plus a steal, and 1.6 blocks. Then in 2018, he averaged almost 29 points, 11 rebounds, 7.5 assists, and over 2 blocks. Listen, Durant is going to go down as one of the most unstoppable scorers the NBA has ever seen. A 7-footer with guard skills and the ability to shoot over anyone. Had it not been for that injury, maybe he would be the second best small forward and not the third, but I gotta put him in the top 3 of all time. Coming in at number 2 on the all-time small forward list, the legend, Larry Bird. Dubbed as the Hick from French Lick, Bird's NBA success came early and often. When he joined the Celtics during that 1980 season, Boston had won just 29 games the year before. And as a rookie, Bird led the Celtics to a 32-game turnaround, winning 61 games, and he was named the NBA Rookie of the Year. But Bird, he was just getting started. The next season, Larry improved the Celtics to 62 wins, but this time he helped them capture that NBA title in the 6 games over the Houston Rockets. Now, it's well known that Larry Bird and Magic Johnson saved the NBA. But what some people may not know is that from 1984 to 1986, Larry Legend was the best player in the entire NBA. Over those 3 years, check this out, Larry Bird averaged 26 points, 10 rebounds, almost 7 assists, 1.8 steals, and a block a game, all while shooting over 50% from the field and 39.2% from deep. The Celtics won 62, 63, and 67 wins respectively those 3 seasons, as Boston made the finals each one of those years during that span and then won 2 out of those 3 titles. Bird was named the regular season MVP each one of those years, and he won the finals MVP twice. Listen, had it not been for a kid from Akron, Bird may still be the greatest small forward of all time. And the best small forward to ever play the game, the king, the chosen one, LeBron James. The 2016 NBA title was the 3rd of LeBron's historic career. But for me, this is the title that moved LeBron past Larry Bird in my eyes. Leading the Cavs back from that 3-1 deficit over the 7-3 Warriors, that will forever be LeBron's greatest accomplishment. This man went out there and put up almost 30 points per game, 11 rebounds, 9 assists, 2.6 steals, and 2.3 blocks a game. This was one of the greatest NBA Finals performances of all time. LeBron went on to 8 consecutive, listen to me, 8 consecutive NBA Finals appearances. But that doesn't even tell the entire story for LeBron. This man is a 4-time regular season MVP winner. He's a 3-time Finals MVP, a 3-time All-Star MVP. He made the All-Star appearance 15 times. He's a 14-time All-NBA member. On top of that, a 6-time All-Defense selection. He's a scoring champion and a Rookie of the Year winner. Listen, there's no question he's the best small forward of all time. The only question for the rest of LeBron's illustrious career is how high can he climb and just how close he can get to catching that ghost from Chicago. Okay, so what do you think? Do you agree or disagree with my top 10 small forward list of all time? Go down to the comment section below and let me know who you rank as the top 10 small forwards in NBA history. Also, make sure you take a look at the power forward list as well as the center list that I did. And we're going to be doing the shooting guards next, and then we're going to do the point guards. So make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you won't miss those videos when they drop. Also, make sure you hit the like button and tap that notification bell so that you can stay updated with the journey of a Ballaholic.